And we are back once again. Once again, we have returned to the world of Embargo 2023. I'll tell you what, in truth, I'm considering breaking today. I'll tell you why. I have a need in a render that I'm doing, and I realized I thought I had purchased this product long in the past. But you see this little goop right here, the situation with the chesticles sort of making the big crack that doesn't look very realistic. Um, there is Sickle Yield has a great product. I've purchased it for Genesis 2 and 3 and have used it often. And I noticed that she has a great product for Genesis 8 and 9 as well. And it's 50% off today, and I'm really tempted to get that to help with this, because this comes up from time to time as I tend to render a certain type of a figure, shall we say. I don't know, man. I'm thinking about that, thinking about getting into that. And I can sort of show you why. By the way, talking about Embargo 2023 and some of the stuff that I'm doing. I've saved so much money this month already. I've probably saved $100 this month already, and which is ironic because I sort of spent extra at the end of last month in anticipation of not spending anymore for 365 calendar days. But it has definitely served to kick off my desire to render, particularly when I see something new that I don't have to pay for, like this texture for Looper. The artist shared that with me, so awesome. But yeah, I tell you what, today is challenging because there's several things that really grab me as useful. Pose packs are always this is the breast helper script I was talking about. Several things where they're basically just giving entire bundles away. I actually own this whole bundle except for two products. The two products that I don't own in that bundle already, I'd be getting for like $1, 50 cents each, I guess you'd say. There's a D-Force doorbuster bargain which kicks off these other deals, and then as it just so happens, it's 51% off of this amazing looking character from Raw Art that I talked about wanting and thinking I was going to wait to get it like next year at the end of this whole thing, when I probably would pay something like this, not this price, but something like this 50% off price, 51% off price then anyway. So I had to ask myself, how stickler am I going to be for this? $33 today basically would get me, gosh, all this stuff at greatly reduced prices. And it's great for the consumer, not great for the ASPA, but I don't know, man. I think I would actually use this character, particularly the fact that the horns can be used on the male or female, and they have all these amazing morphs. Not that I make devil characters often, but I do see myself wanting to make a Hellboy character at some point, and geez, man, it looks awesome. Anyway, not sure if I'll hold out or not, but one thing that did occur to me, so I can get this particular product right here. Poses, I make poses, so I try not to spend on them. I have bought quite a few Zedicus poses because they're usually broken into like parts, and they're very useful in making my own poses as well. But let's take this character, these poses. They're called V30 useful poses for G9. Don't have a ton of poses made for G9. Now, of course, all my other poses will work with G9 using the minion scripts and anatomy helper, or whatever you want to call it. But I do see myself, this kind of stuff. Like, there's it's a pretty good mix here. Incredulous, kicking, running. I always like the running poses, resting sort of from a run. And as I look at these, they seem to be pretty well made. One of the things, hallmark of a great pose, is that it's not just the default grasp position of the hand. The dials that create this movement, or just that movement, or just that movement. You see a lot of that, and I'll be honest, I've been guilty of this myself. you know, use those dials to put it in the context of a pose, and then just, you know, bake out those rotations. And so you'd see that same fist a lot, for example. But these have different. They look a little more hand posed, and that's good. Except for one. See this? That's definitely not using the dial. I can tell you that's not the dial. Just because of recognizing what that looks like. I'd like to know what outfit this is. It looks really cool. But okay, so on this one, this hand looks goofy. That hand should at least be in some sort of a relaxed state. You don't see this unless it's Steven Seagal running. You don't usually see that. But a great variety here, and it occurs to me that I would actually use this product. But I thought to myself, you know, I could probably make one of these poses in 5 minutes. So I thought that might be a fun little test today to see if we can indeed make one of these poses in 5 minutes using our own ingenuity and dials and whatnot. Let's pick our favorite pose. Don't love how those hands are just totally flat right there. That's the default position of the hand. So that was not actually posed. It was just sort of left in its default position. I'm splitting hairs now, but I digress. I don't know how long I have today, so let's just see. We'll get into this and see if we can actually make a pose. These are great promos, by the way. By the way, the artist here is Valerie 3D. Gonna start paying attention to Valerie 3D based on the look of this one. Don't know much about their stuff. Mostly poses. It's like these look very, very Zeticus, though. I'll be honest with you. It could be a second account for Zeticus. I don't know. I have no idea, but they look of a similar quality, which is just the biggest compliment that I could pay. So I don't know. I need to look into that. It might be the same person. Anywho, let's go back to that studio and see what we can do. Well, obviously, we're going to load the default Genesis 9 dev figure. Decided to put a little bit of royalty-free ambient music on here. We'll see. YouTube lately has been really trying to kick my butt with copyright. I have a copyright strike against me for sharing a video of myself playing and performing an Eagles song. I've shared that sort of thing from my shows many times. I expect the copyright claim, but not the copyright strike. So that was some old BS. I was not happy about that at all. And every time they do that to me, I start uploading like crazy to my Rumble account, where just everything is handled so much more fair. There we go. Just want to give that base feminine body to start with. And we're going to look at our reference here and think about what we want to actually do. So I think we're kind of looking at, that's an easy pose right there. But let's look at this one. It's a little harder. Feet together. Yeah, let's make this pose. So when you're going for symmetrical poses, like copying the actual number and removing the negative, it's a way to go. Yeah. So By the way, I recommend always doing this when you're creating poses, just so you don't get that little gig of them saying that your character's floating. You want to grab the shaders on this surface, type in OPAC, bring that down to something like that, and then when you're at the bottom, you can see first you want to press Control D, and you want to grab your character by the hip. In the parameters tab, you just want to bring them down until that starts to happen right there. And as long as you got some gray on each foot, they can never get you for not having it rounded. So it's a really, really good source. So once you have that little spot touching, you can always do that sort of thing. And that right there would pass. It's not too much. Or you can just get it close and then do that until your toes are touching or something. Well, it looks pretty close. Okay. So now, looks like there's a bit of a tilt forward on that. And then tilt up a little bit. This posture is definitely going to be forward. Let's do the same on the other side. Let's go ahead and start getting the bend as much as we can into the right position. So that's bent 126.93. What we were talking about earlier, the you could do that, but that's not going to look like what they've done here, and it's not going to be as accurate. So we're going to just kind of, we're going to bring the hand away from the face a little bit. And I want some of this to be a little bit kinetic, meaning like it pulls the shoulder and the arm as it needs to. So it's not so robotically, doesn't look so robotical. So we know we're going to fold that thumb in and get it out of the way a bit. So sort of starting with this joint here, we know we're going to be bent some. This one's going to be bent a little bit more. Oh, it's cathartic. It is cathartic. It's looking pretty cool. Thinking I might do my own set of fearful poses here, so I need to set up a little bit of the infrastructure to do that, and I'm going to break right here to do so, and we'll just pick right back up in the next video.